So here we are, back again with the Supreme Pool Series. This is the second session. We've just seen Darren Appleton sweep aside. Well, I say sweep aside, what a tight game that was against Clint Jansen. A fantastic match, so close, and it finished at 10-11. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome Rob Chilton into the commentary box for this second game, Karl Donoghue against Shaun. So here we are, back again with the Supreme Pool Series. This is the second session. We've just seen Darren Appleton sweep aside. Well, I say sweep aside, what a tight game that was against Clint Jansen. A fantastic match, so close, and it finished at 10-11. And it gives me great pleasure. So, for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this the second Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, back again. Players, the Super Snooker Pool Series, Newcastle upon second Newcastle underline. We've just seen. It's a bit of a mouthful, that lot. There's currently already round one, session 2 games underway. Match, some of them have been going for quite a while. 10-11. 4 stream tables. So for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this second Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, back again. Players, so if you want the score up there, Series Newcastle.com, Newcastle underline. Owen, just seen them. It's a bit of a mouthful, that lot. There's currently interesting one, session 2 games underway. Match, some of them have been going for quite a while. 10-11. 4 stream tables. So for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this second Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, back again. Players, so if you want the score up there, Series Newcastle.com, Newcastle underline. Owen, just seen them. The ref just didn't hear. It's a bit of a mouthful, that lot. There's currently interesting one, session 2 games underway. Match, some of them have been going for quite a while. 4 stream tables. So for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, back again. Also, if you want the score up there, Series Newcastle.com, Newcastle underline. The ref just didn't hear. It's a bit of a mouthful, that lot. There's Chipperfield, interesting one, session 2 games underway. Match, some of them have been quite a while. Donoghue. 4 stream tables. So for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, this table again. Also, if you want the score up there, Series Newcastle.com, Newcastle underline. The ref just chatting. It's a bit of a mouthful, that lot. There's Chipperfield, interesting one, session 2 games underway. Match, some of them have been quite a while. So for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, this table again. Also, if you want the score up there, Series Newcastle.com, Newcastle underline. It's a bit of a mouthful, that lot. There's Chipperfield, interesting one, session 2 games underway. Match, some of them have been quite a while. So for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, this table again. Also, if you want the score up there, Series Newcastle.com, Newcastle underline. It's a bit of a mouthful, that lot. There's Chipperfield, interesting one, session 2 games underway. Great start for some 7 frames to 1 against James Donoghue. So for anyone recently joining us, you are watching for this Supreme Pool Series from. So here we are, this table again. So how are you feeling, Rob? What's your anticipation for the series?
Just excited to play a tournament, really.
Yeah.
You know, this size and this field, and
we saw you in action quite recently in a money match. Congratulations on that one. It was a great win against a really tough player in Brian Halcrow. So actually firmly back into your stride now, isn't it? After a couple of years away from the game.
Yeah, a little bit. I think I need a few more tournaments first.
So I apologise. It sounds like there was a bit of a problem with the sound, a bit of feedback, so we apologise for that. I'll just go back over where we are. This is a second session game. First session is completed. Darren Appleton, we saw play Clint Ianson. He edged a hill game, 11 frames to 10. So this is Karl Donoghue against Shaun Chipperfield. Let's get to know the players a bit better. Shaun Chipperfield, nicknamed Chippy. He's 30 years of age, from the Norwich area. Uses the Peridon cue. His achievements to date: 1 Golden Q 3-man winner, 1 GB9 main event winner, and of course the WEPF World Champion. Started playing pool when he was 21, which is quite a mature age to come to the game, but he was a snooker player prior to that. He quit snooker, so joined the local pub team. But, to come into pool at 21 and go on to become world champion, some achievement. And his opponent, the Jackal, Karl Donoghue, 27 years old. We say he comes from Ireland. I think he lives in the Dublin area. He uses a Jason Owen cue, 8.3mm tip. Shaun just stepped away for a quick bathroom break, I think, so just a slight break in the action. So, pooled achievements from Karl Donoghue, under 21 world champion back in 2010, world men's team champion in 2012, numerous Irish ranking titles, around about 16 of those, Irish junior champion, under 21 Irish champion, and made the World Masters semi-final twice, and also the World Championship quarter-final. Started playing around about 5 years old. His grandparents owned a hotel with a load of pool tables in, so he used to make himself useful on the tables. As I say, we saw him in a money match recently playing Ronan McCarthy, and what a tussle that was.
Should have won, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Frame 2, Shaun to break, trailing 1 frame to 0. Time running. Ball spotted.
So, following the break, a bit of an awkward leave here, Rob.
Yeah, I think, me personally, I'll probably just roll onto the yellow. He's already potted the yellow from the break, so just roll onto the yellow by the red and just bump it out an inch, but sure, man. There you go.
Choosing the attacking option.
Yeah, I think he'll looking at cutting the one in the middle, then canning the red away or yellow. So he needs to move that, because he can't pot that.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
Just got that little unwanted flick on the red.
He potted it too thick.
Yeah.
He's going to play the shot I said, what he should have played first. Still in a good position on yellow though.
Yeah, Karl having to give this one a good look. Doesn't seem to be any attacking options. I mean, he's got this.
Ideally, he can just nick the red. But he's trying to get it past the black.
Just to tie up the black, yeah.
She's done.
So So mission accomplished. Do wonder, does he have an angle to pop the yellow in the middle and go back? I'm not sure he does.
Bit straight,
No,
yeah.
a bit straight on it. That one's overhit. So not quite used to the pace of the table yet. I think he can probably play a similar containing shot than he played a minute ago. Can he one rail, and well, he can hit it direct if he needs to, or he can just go off one rail. He's not going to be leaving too much.
Really.
Yeah. So quiet in the arena at the moment, you could pretty much hear a pin drop. Even though there's a good crowd gathered around. So again, containing from Karl. Karl will, well, both these players are very proficient at world rules. Obviously, world rules is Shaun's background, but equally Karl recently played that money match that we mentioned, and that was to world rules, so he'll know the rules inside out.
I think Karl's more likely to play a safety shot than Shaun.
Have you played either, Rob?
I don't think I have. If I have, it's a while ago. No, I don't think I've played either of them. But I've seen them play, I've seen Karl's money games, I've seen Shaun on streams and stuff. So I know how they play. They're very aggressive players.
Karl very much in the driving seat in this frame. When he has 7 balls left on the table, he has time on his side.
That was risky. Not sure that's the right shot. The red doesn't go, but the black does now, so. Skid it off.
Yeah, just squeeze through that gap. So 2 visits to Karl, as you heard the referee say. Again, probably just came up a couple of inches short of where he'd like to have been. The side he put on the ball just killed it slightly off the rail.
Yeah, the cushions are playing a bit, because the new cloth, they're playing a bit soft.
He did have an option there if he wanted to although he has got 2 visits, but he could have established control in the frame by pushing the red up over the back,
Yeah.
but deciding against that. Would have just given him that little bit of security. So played a bit of a shot to nothing there. Actually, it looks like he's played it quite well, with some risk attached to that.
It's a good job he nudged that black, because he can pot this yellow off the other yellow and bounce it out. So if he hadn't nudged that black there,
Yeah.
he'd have left the table open. As you Shaun play the yellow off the yellow.
He's going to have to play this. If it does go, he's going to have to play it with a bit of pace.
He's got to be careful he doesn't catch the red and go to the corner pocket as well.
Yeah, that was always going to be the problem of, might be okay. Might even if he can't attack from here, he might just be able to squeeze it past the bottom of the red and just get some cover in. And it did go. How's his luck?
Perfect.
That's a great shot. What a fabulous touch there from Shaun. And a really nice clearance.
As I said, Karl let him off there. You know, he had those 2 shots.
Yeah.
He left him. I said he left him the yellow off the yellows. No need to leave him that.
No, he shouldn't have had that chance, but the chance he got, and he took it well, and it's from 1 frame apiece. Honours even, early doors. So, a quick virtual tour of the room. So, Neil Raybone is now 5-4 up, so Craig Williams pulled a frame back. Gaz Royds is 2-1 up against Scott Muscat. Darren McVicker, I did say during the last match that he might present a bit of value at 11-10 against Simon Fitzsimmons. Simon's a fabulous player, very adept, but Darren, if he's on form, very, very destructive. He's 3-1 ahead. Max Nosko, that one's getting closer. Max stretched out to a 5-2 lead. Now it's 5-4. Tony Halpin against Karl Sutton. That's another one of the televised games. We've got 4 games being televised. Karl Sutton is 10 frames to 2 up. So he's not messing around. Chris Day, Ryan Pisani. Chris Day's 5-4 up. Liam White 9-1 against Jay Dewar. Bash Maksood is playing Dean Richardson. And he leads 4 frames to 3. Liam Dunster playing Andrew Mickey. And he's 4-1 up. Rob Warren, Ryan Clark. Rob Warren's 5-4 up. Ben Rowland 5-4 against Omar Mounchid. And Jamie Graham is trailing 3 frames to 2 against Michael Steele. And finally, Ben Tanner against Jason Morris are tied up at 5 apiece. I say finally, there is one more, sorry. Dom Coomey is 6-4 up against John McAllister, which means that the final game from session 1 must be now completed. And that was Ian Duffy against Craig Brown. So Ian Duffy won that one 11-9. And I think there's a very happy person who put an accumulator on 5 horses, and I think Ian Duffy was the last one to come in on that. So someone's taking the bookie for a few quid on that one. You get a £40 5-timer, and I know that Jeremy Hooper was in that as well, and he was 2-1 or certainly 7-4 before the off. So I think he's got a good price for that.
Carl's making hard work of these.
Yeah.
He should have been on this one, the middle last but one, and leave the one by the black to the last, but he hasn't got rid of the one out of the pocket.
Just doesn't seem to have settled yet, and he's making it really tricky for himself. This last red is going to be very hard to get on.
I think if he's on it now by the black, I would play it now. And cannon into the 2 yellows and leave yourself the long red, because you cannon the yellow away, so then the black goes.
Yeah, I think he's almost forced to.
Yeah. Because where the 2 yellows by the red is, you can leave that.
He's taking the long one.
I'm not convinced about this.
So this needs to be
it's got to be pinpoint accuracy.
pinpoint. He's not, he's got like a. Well, you can see where he's queuing to there. There's, and especially playing it that close to the red, there's so little margin of error.
Yeah, but that's where he was just with the white.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
could have gone for it then, moved the yellows, took the long red, and then the black pockets open. But it's a tough shot. This is.
And that ball's flying.
Yeah. It was. You can't leave that till last than that one. But I think he's just struggling with the cue ball to keep it still.
Very reactive, these cloths.
Yeah.
Clint said after his first round game that even difficult just to stun a ball, because if you try and stun a ball, it seems to screw back an inch.
Yeah.
So he's just played a clever little shot there in a way. I mean, he's left nothing for Shaun, but it's fairly simple just to play a safety shot.
He has got off the cushion now, so he's got half a chance.
Yep. But this is the make or break shot. Very, very tricky, very difficult shot. But if he doesn't get it, the table's wide open. Trust in the luck.
It's a good effort.
It's a great effort. So as we say, wide open now. And you expect Shaun to get through these in double quick time.
Take the one in the middle. He's straight on it. No, he's not.
He's got a nice angle. Just under hit that one slightly, but he's absolutely fine. That's perfect. Just look from the other angle that he'd come up slightly short. Just a little bit. Just maybe play that a little bit quick. Could have just taken an extra second, but doesn't pose any problems. Takes it off the knuckle, and I gotta say, Shaun looks very relaxed.
He does, yeah. I think he always does, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah.
The way he plays, he just looks like he's relaxed. The way he plays, you have to be.
Yeah, true. Stephen Dempsey, Max Nosko. That one's still 5 frames to 4, so they're playing a slow frame there, in fact. Just refresh it, because some of those games seem to have just got stuck, but mind you, that was a pretty quick frame, so hardly surprising. Jason Morris is 6-5 up against Ben Tanner, so we were having a bit of fun beforehand because, excuse me, I was in commentary with Dan Davey, and he said, because it just said Morris on the screen on the betting, he says, Karl, is that Karl Morris? I said, yeah. Well, yeah, I think it is. He's definitely in action. And he said, well, he's 5-6. So he put a double on Ben Rowland and Morris, and then I said afterwards, oh, it's Jason Morris. He said it was Jason Morris. We've got no idea, but he's winning. So
is he? He'll have it, if he gets away with that, the right touch.
You better thank me afterwards.
It'll be a good luck ref.
Oh yeah. So
good luck.
Yeah. Now we see.
I have used this the first time this week.
Yeah.
It is great.
Yeah.
Set the balls up, but you need to move it straight away.
Yeah.
Really. I don't like it staying on the table. You just need a bit of the player's help just to move.
I think he's happy to leave it on, especially taking reds. There's only one red at the bottom.
I'd still be moving it.
Yeah, I think I'd still actually be moved. I mean, in actual fact, there's only one ball that needs to be chopped, and that's the front yellow.
Front yellow, yeah.
Because the rack will come over the top of the other 3 balls. I don't think any balls are actually on the rack, but because it's such a volume of balls down there, it makes it that much more difficult. But he's overhit. No, I was going to say he's overhit that, but it pulled up nicely, and the rack won't make any difference to that one with the pace he's playing it. And there we go, a good example of the ability to leave the rack on the table.
You see the point here. His hand mainly on the rack.
Yeah, yeah.
So he could move the ball.
Yeah, I would.
With his hand. So
I'd be asking the ref.
Yeah,
to,
he needs to move it.
Yeah. Which he's done so. And I think it comes off. Well, maybe he needs to chop the front one.
Yeah, it's the top one.
This is the only slight downside is when you chop that front ball. Obviously, that's the thickest part of the rack, but it's As I say, we've seen a lot of breaks on this so far today, and it's very, very rare that you've got to take a ball off.
Confused.com.
Yeah,
Just use another marker, that's it.
yeah.
How many markers has he got?
And these markers are, they've got a little chamfer underneath, so
Oh, have they? Oh, so
Yeah.
oh, right, okay. Is he stuck? Oh,
this is the first time, in fairness, in the first 2 matches that there's been any issues whatsoever. I think it's performed very well so
yeah,
far.
it's minimal issue,
Yeah,
you know, compared
yeah.
to the benefits of it. I think
Exactly.
it's great.
Yeah. The benefits far outweigh any issues.
I can't set the balls up to save my life.
So if you've not seen this before, this is the Supreme Shark Rack. It's been developed by a gentleman named Shane Conroy. Shane, I know Gareth Potts was a big advocate. In fact, I did some commentary with Gareth Potts on the Clint Ironson against Mark Boyle match, and he said he can't believe that someone's not devised or developed one for the English 8-ball game. So a few people listened to that, and Shane has been first to market, and he's developed a great product. If you're interested in one, he is one of the sponsors of this event, and they are available. He's now got a website, which I will have to let you know in a minute. I think it's supremesharkrack.com, but I will just confirm that for you. They're worth a try. They're only I think they're about £9, between £9 and a tenner anyway. So very affordable. Indeed, it's sharkrackpool.com. So I think they're also available on eBay. So have a look, see what you think. We've not seen too many poor racks today, that's for sure. And what it does, it guarantees all the balls are touching, and you get the energy through the back of the pack. Also a big up to the main sponsor for this event. It's Jason Owen. It's called the Jason Owen Open. Jason's with us today. You saw him earlier doing a little interview. Very excited about this tournament. I think when he first came to it, it was 64 players, and it's just grown. It's grown horns. It's got big beyond his dreams. And he's proud to be a part of this. And of course, the main sponsor, Supreme Pool, Strachan, to K8.com. There you go. So, Red Bull's nominated from Karl. And this is a great chance. Not too many problems. If anything,
I'm not sure if he can get.
no.
Does that pass?
Again, just
No,
just squeeze through there. And he needs that to run. I think he's okay, but he will be. If he's going to play the one on the bulk line, he's going to be heading towards those yellows.
not sure he can check it back to leave himself on the other red. Yeah, no, he's going to go wide, that is. Maybe looking to dink in, soft screw shot into the yellow. I'm not sure.
He's still got options though. He could play the long one and screw back for better shape on that if he wishes to. But
I'll be playing this one for just dinking into the yellow.
yeah,
There you go.
it's a nice shot. So now he's left this long shot.
Interesting to see if he runs it through for the one on the bottom rail, or whether he just tries to float it in or stun it in. I think he can play on the bottom one if he's short. You're on the one in the middle. That's why he's played. It's like 2 shots in one. If he's a little bit short, he could pot the one in the middle and come back.
Looks like he's got a nice angle here just to get out past the yellow.
Yeah, the soft cushion will help him. It'll skid out. There you go.
And these last two balls should be a formality.
Two.
Good stuff. So he pulls one back, and it's 3 frames to 2 in favour of Shaun Chipperfield. So Neil Raybone's picked up another frame. He's now 7-4 ahead against Craig Waddingham. That game also being streamed. That one on table 11. So 4 tables being streamed. Simon Fitzsimmons is now trailing Darren McVicker 4 frames to 1.
See, Darren's one of those floating players. Like, he wouldn't be many people's pick to win, but he's so dangerous to play a one-off game. He can, he can beat anyone, and that's what you've got in this tournament. You've got so many players who can take each other out. So it's so hard to predict.
And these scores are being updated by the players. They've all got a little tablet next to the table, so it just makes me realise how long that Max Nosko, Stevie Dempsey frame's been going on. That one, obviously, a real gritty affair. That one's been locked up at 5-4 for quite some time. Liam White now 9 frames to 3, just a couple away from getting through. Liam Dunster now 5-1 up against Andrew Mackey.
Frame 6, Shaun to break, leading 3 frames to 2. Time running.
Huge break.
Ball's body. Yellow ball's in play.
And this one
That is perfect.
could be all over very, very shortly. I take it he's playing the plant.
Yeah.
And he's just about perfect here as well, and he just needs to run through a couple of inches to leave this plant, and with the yellow, with the red next to the yellow being a basically a chalk ball.
Oh. Nearly.
Yep.
Could have sat on the other side of the red.
Making real quick work of this finish, as we anticipated, and he's 4 frames to 2 ahead. So yeah, just going back to those scores. Rob Warren and Ryan Clark tied together at 6 apiece. Ben Rowlands 6-4 against Omar Mounchid. I believe Omar has come across. He's one of the other Moroccan players that's here.
How many have we got? Is it about 4, is it? About 4.
I think there was about 5, but 2 or 3 have had to pull out because they weren't able to get visas, sadly.
Yeah.
Ian Ali lost his first round match to one of the Moroccans.
Saw that, yeah. Was he leading easy? Was he behind? I can't remember. I saw
He was 6-2 down at one point and ground his way back. I think he was 9-8 up,
yeah,
and ended up losing 11-10. Jamie Graham's made the long trip up from all the way down in Plymouth, along with his brother Jez, who is in action later today. He's trailing Michael Still 4 frames to 2. And Dan Dave will be happy to see Jason Morris is now 2 ahead of Ben Tanner at 7-5. John McAllister and Dom Cooney tied together at 6 apiece as Karl Donoghue comes to the table. And he is breaking off frame number 7, trailing 4 frames to 2.
Carl's going off there. Can't make his mind up on reds or yellows.
He seems to have the pace of this table well at the moment, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's striking it nice. He's not dribbling anything. He's playing with confidence. All the shots. He's bouncing off cushions. People are a bit wary about the cushions, but
playing beautifully well. Could be a real feature in this tournament if he keeps up this kind of form. Just looks lovely around the table.
Yeah, he's a dangerous player, sure.
So again, just asking the referee to remove the rack because he needs to place his hand there. Just making the game look really easy. And come up a bit short there. Spoke just too soon.
Careless, really. That
Yeah, it really was. Just didn't get the...
It's tough to hold, see, on this cloth. The cushions slow the ball down, not the cloth. So when you're trying to drop something in like this, you could drift away. Hit it too thin.
That's a good shot. He would have held his breath just for a second there, but he played that really well. Another lovely clearance. It tried to go wrong just at the end, but it was fine. 5 frames to 2. And Karl, he made a couple of early mistakes, but he's not done a massive amount wrong. He went in off there. But,
it's the thing when the table breaks like this, you know, if you throw a frame away, I think it was the one where he left the 2 yellows for sure. He should have really had that frame. When he had 7 reds on the table, he had 2 shots. And he went around the finish a bit the wrong way. So he was lost like the last 3 or 4 frames.
yeah.
So he's now 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2, yeah.
You know, that 1 frame sweep 4-3 is still really close, but that 1 frame.
So Fitzsimmons has pulled 1 back. He's now trailing down Vicar 4 frames to 2. Neil Raybone's pulled another one ahead of Craig Waddingham. He's 8-4, sorry. As I said that, Craig Waddingham's won another frame and it's 8 frames to 5.
That was quick.
Yeah. After that long frame between Nosko and Dempsey, they put in a couple of quick ones, and then Nosko leads 6 frames to 5.
Huge break.
Amazing timing, and
I think that's the right word. It's timed it so well.
And you almost fear a little for Karl already if Shaun's playing, timing, and just cueing this well. It's really difficult to see. How he's going to come back into this one. I think he's trying to put just a touch side on that, just to take the one in the middle, but he's left himself options. He's come up short there. Neither that to Raoul. Way short.
Yeah, because he could have played with a lot more side and come off 2 cushions and use the black
He's
as a
still
guide.
still got a double.
Yeah,
Still got a double.
Skids that much though. He's going to pound it in there.
He's just relentless at the moment, but again,
Snookered.
left himself snookered. It's just a half ball. Can he? Oh, he's not going to try and turn it over. He's looking at the 1 cushion.
No, he can ding that because I'm right behind it, just there.
Oh, here we go.
Good shot. I think he can cut it back as well. It's a good shot.
Brilliant stuff. Really good. He's just taken to this. I mean, for some people, this will be quite intimidating. I mean, Darren Appleton, who is probably one of the most experienced pool players in the world, certainly one of the most experienced in the room, been in front of the TV cameras on dozens of occasions, as have you, Rob, and he even said he felt a little bit intimidated, certainly when it went quiet, realising the TV cameras are on him and everyone's watching, and he just felt it got to him a bit. You'd think he'd have nerves of steel and it wouldn't affect him, but
I think it's because he's coming back to this game. That's why he's not as comfortable. He's not that comfortable at the minute, so he throws different nerves at him. He's not. I was talking to him after. He's not quite on it. Like there's a few shots here and there. In practice, he said he's been fine. So.
But no such thing for Shaun. He's, as I say, he's just taken to this like a
Yeah.
duck to water.
It can be very intimidating when someone's running around the table.
In fact, we do have the Max Nosko Stephen Dempsey game just to my right hand side, so I can keep an eye on that one. Stevie Dempsey's in the middle of a clearance and looking good for 6 frames apiece. Two very even players, and that was recognised by the bookie as well. Both of those players were 5 to 6 before the off. If you want to get a bet on, then Jed Ronan is your man. It's the winning post. He's the resident bookie. He is here he's here in the club, but he will take all of your bets. You can private message him on Facebook. His name is Jed Ronan, G-E-D R-O-N-A-N. And if you need to find all the prices, you will find them. You can put anything from doubles upwards onto the matches, and you can bet outright as well. And all the prices you will find on the Facebook page, the Players Pool event. Also, if you're around about Facebook, then please do give us a like. We're Beard Productions. We would love to get you into the team. Give us a like, and you'll get any notifications of future games that we stream. This one, a predominant feature in our schedule for this year.
Pretty good shot there.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Yeah. I think you can just get past.
Yeah, just enough angle. Beautiful.
Just see whether he leaves himself and stuns it and just leaves himself the long black, whether he tries to get out closer.
Yeah.
I think because he's Chinese a little bit, I think he may just done it or roll it and leave it there. There he has come back.
Needs to be careful. Oh, he's in trouble. Things just not going Karl's way at the moment. It's been a long journey over from Ireland, from the Republic, and this is not how this match would have played out in his head for the last couple of months, as he's been practicing for this event. This will be some escape.
Not sure the angle's there. No, I didn't think it was.
No.
And the yellows.
But he might get it this time. Oh.
Anyway.
So the way Shaun's playing, you can't see this being anything else but 7-2, especially with the 2 shots carrying. So if you're not aware, this is a 5-event series. The first 2 events are played to world rules. Events 3 and 4 are played to black ball. And event 5 are playing to a new set of rules called the Supreme Rules. Have you seen anything of the Supreme Rules, Rob?
Briefly, but I know what kind of, similar to the Chinese able, so
Yeah.
I've seen them. I'm not sure how they'll play out on the 7 before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's hard sometimes until you actually play them to see how they're gonna, how they're gonna play.
Quite exciting though. I mean, it's a brave thing for Lee to do, and the great thing being that he's left it open. So if they work really well, he can just run a series next year.
Yeah.
All events play to those rules. If they don't play so well, then he can revise his thinking.
Yeah.
But so exciting. I mean, the last event, if you're not aware, the prize pool for the last event is so the winner will take £5,000, but there's a £46,000 bonus. And the reason it's a bonus is because you have to have played a minimum of 3 of the first 4 events to qualify for the grand final, which just stops the Sharks. Well, I say the Sharks, there's not many Sharks around, but the Sharks coming in just for one event and taking it down for £51,000. So you have to play 3 of the first 4 events. And £51,000 is quite a significant number. That's because it's the highest prize ever paid in English 8-ball. The previous highest was £50,000, which was won. I'd have to remind myself of the guy's name, to be honest. It was one frame shootout, and it all started in pubs, didn't it? Everyone paid. Did they pay a £5 or something to enter?
Yeah, you played in your local pub or something. Yeah,
you played in your local pub, one frame, and it was called exactly that, the one frame shootout.
Pub challenge or something.
Pub challenge, yeah. So you played one frame, and you progressed and progressed and progressed. In fact, I think, if I remember rightly, I think Oli Bell, who I've seen here today,
match,
I think Oli lost in the semi-final, did he?
Yeah, I think
or was it the final?
If I remember, Scott Ross got quite close as well, I think.
Yeah.
Can't remember
And it was
name,
literally one frame. That was it.
It's bugging me now, his name. What's his name? Frankie...
Yeah,
Frank.
you're right. It was Frank.
Was he Frank Sargent?
Yeah.
Sargent.
Oh, you've got a good memory, Rob. I think you're right.
Yeah, that's him, yeah. Frank Sargent, yeah.
So he... you would think that, one of the top names in the past would have been the holder of that title of winning the most money ever in an April tournament. But it was a guy. I mean, because it was a 1-ball shootout, it was really a bit of a crapshoot, wasn't it? It was all on the break almost. It was
some tweaks going on. I didn't actually see it.
I think it's on YouTube somewhere. I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
Huge break again from
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's the good thing about this racket. If you hit the balls well, they will just go everywhere.
They'll split, yeah.
So you haven't got inconsistent racks. That's the perfect thing about it.
Now I'll get into a discussion because people were mentioning the fact that you do get a little deviation if the ball, you saw it then as a ball travelled across it just deviates slightly to the left.
But that's irrelevant from the break.
Exactly.
You don't know where the balls are going anyway.
Yeah. And the thing is, every table, the cushions react differently, the cloth reacts differently, balls hit into each other. So
you don't know where the ball's going to land from the break, so it's irrelevant whether it goes over there and rolls onto another ball. It's only after the first visit where it needs to be removed, and that's it. I think it's brilliant.
And of course, one's going to deviate in your favour and one's going to deviate against you. It's all going to even out. So it's a small price to pay for what we've seen here, a consistent break.
Yeah, it's nothing. I've used it this week and it's great. It doesn't fit in the box of balls, though. That's what it needs to do.
Yeah, that's true.
It goes back in the cardboard cover.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in the box. So I need to make the box of balls bigger.
I've got one. It fits in a case. You know, if you've got a case for the balls, it fits in those. But I know what you mean. The kind of Aramis box. Yeah.
It's a disaster, that shot, because you're leaving the wide beyond the line where Karl needs to be.
Yeah.
He needs to win this round.
And you'd think, kind of think, well, he can afford a mistake at 7-2 up, but actually, against someone as destructive as Karl, that those kind of things could be turning points. Yeah,
well, Karl thought that, obviously at the start, Karl made that little mistake by opening the balls at the very start, lost the frame, and he's already had a go since.
That's a nice opening shot. Just left himself on this one down the rail.
That's in.
That's in all the way.
Oh no.
Oh no. Just it did drop. Look at that. It was under the pace.
It did seem to turn into the rail though.
It did slightly, yeah.
Again, that's quite a poor shot. Should be nowhere near there.
Yeah.
Thanks to the two shots. What do you do? Trouble.
No, he could have. Yeah. I was going to say he could have been in worse trouble there, but as it is, it's bad enough.
I'm not sure he can cut
he's not got a shot.
The problem is as well on these tables, it'll skid that much off that side rail. If he does cut it in, he's going to be nowhere near the black. He'll do well to get on the black. He's played a great shot.
Oh my goodness.
Can't believe he's
playing with fire now. Playing with fire. He's got a really tricky black into the right centre. Really tricky. Has to take it on.
It's wide.
Yeah, it is. To the bottom lip. So that
that's
big
his
mistake
right.
from Shaun. He's
I think that's his race run.
yeah.
That chance there.
Yep.
He had to take that. Nice see Shaun play the red off the black first go. Just down bump the black safe. Perfect. This is the only shot that can go wrong. He screws in the middle or something stupid. Just go around the back of the black now and it's perfect.
Great stuff there. So 8 frames to 2, and the way he's playing, very, very much in charge.
John McAllister, 8-7 down. He's a good player, Johnny's as well. I've practiced a few times with him last couple of months.
Yep.
Very, very good player.
Just recently off the back of an IPA tour win.
Yeah. He's
Played
very,
Greg
very
Batten in the final. So the Ben Tanner, Jason Morris still in charge, but only just. He's 8-7 ahead. Michael's still doing a job over Jamie Graham. He's 6-2 up. And a bit of a surprise, I guess, a surprise for some people. Ben Rowland, a really, really solid youngster. He's currently 7-6 down. The Moroccans making a really good show of things at the moment. Omar Mounted is currently leading that one. Rob Warren is leading Ryan Clark 8 frames to 6. Andrew McKee's pulled back a couple of frames against Liam Dunster. He now trails 5 frames to 3. Bash Maksood and Dean Richardson tied up at 6 apiece. Liam White was 9-3 up against Jay Dwyer. He's now making a resurgence there as Jay. It's 9 frames to 6. Cy Fitzsimmons making a good comeback against Darren McVicker, 4 frames each. Darren was 4 frames to 1 up. So the players just stepped away for a second for a bathroom break. We'll be back in just a moment.
frame 11. Karl to break, trailing 8 frames to 2. Time running. Ball spotted. Reds dominate.
He doesn't look happy about that. Oh, it did drop. He was watching that. You could see his shoulders slump. He thought he'd missed it. But he's okay. So you can see now that he's looking to play this red and come across and glance across. He wants to glance across the face of that yellow.
To clip the yellow off ball so he moves out of the red.
No,
Moves the other way. I think
he's still okay, but it's not the way he planned it. He didn't want a full ball contact, and he was in danger there of almost going in off. Just looking across at the Max Nosco Stevie Dempsey game. Max is currently 7-5 up and looking good to go 8-5. He's got an awkward last ball. If you wish to follow that game, then do by all means go across to playerspoolevents.com and you will see all of the games there listed. 4 games being streamed, 2 with commentary, 2 without. Or you can just stay here with myself and Rob and watch this game as it develops.
See, look,
He's just losing that white.
yeah, that's the difference. That's been the difference in the match. Karl has just keep losing the cue ball. You know, it's obviously difficult and brand new cloth you've not played on before, and that's where Shaun. I think that's been the difference in the match. It's just the cue ball. Karl keeps losing the cue ball. He might have a gap there though to jack up and go between the 2 yellows and wrap round. He's played it well.
Just an unwanted kiss, but yeah, it's left this a bit awkward now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's got it at the top corner, but
He may take it out. He can cut it in the middle, but and run round. I'm not sure what. Yeah, he's looking in the corner. If he's playing it there, looking in the corner.
yeah, that one.
See, just the cue. That's you know, he's missed that pop because he wasn't
Because he lost the
good
ball
on it
earlier,
again. Yeah,
yeah.
that's literally been what's happened in every frame. He's
Yeah.
lost. He's just lost the cue ball. Shaun just mopping up again.
The game's just easy for him now. And life's easier for Shaun. He's when he's making a mistake, he's not getting punished. It's not the Karl that you would expect to see. Normally, quite a faultless player, but just really not settled with this cloth. Just another quick look around the room. Neil Raybone leading Craig Waddingmate 7. That one really nip and tuck. Darren McVicker and Simon Fitzsimmons still locked up now at 5 frames apiece. Max Nosco did make that clearance, and he's gone 8-5, and he is breaking. And he's had a massive break as well in the next frame. I beg your pardon. That was Stevie Dempsey that actually broke them. Tell a lie. He was the one that had the massive break, so
Michael Steele 7-2 now.
Liam White 10-6. So he stopped the rot. Jay Dewar was coming back at him. He's on the hill. Ash McSood has now gone 1 frame ahead in that tense match against Dean Richardson. Ryan Clark, Rob Bourne, 1 frame each. I know Lee Kendall will be happy with the Liam White being 10-6 up because he bought him in the Calcutta.
Doesn't miss a trick him.
Now here's a score for you. Michael Steele against Jamie Graham. Jamie Graham was 1-10 against Michael Steele. Michael Steele was 5-1. And Michael Steele is 7 frames to 2 up. Jason Morris against Ben Tanner. So our little mistake earlier is that side of the Dan Davies bet is okay for him because Jason Morris is winning 9-7, but the other half of it is letting him down, the Ben Rowlands side, because Ben Rowlands trading 8 frames to 6 to Omar Mounchid. And finally, John McAllister and Dom Cooney tied together at 8 frames each as we cast our attention back. Another opportunity for Karl. And this is a must-take. Must-take. He needs to take every opportunity. I mean, this would be some comeback. You can't see it. But we have seen stranger things in pool. The way Shaun's playing, it's a big ask. Shaun just needing 2 more.
I'm not sure he's perfect here either. Black's in a tricky place. So ideally you want to pot it in the corner where that yellow is on the knuckle, but he's got to be careful which way he goes again. That's why he's pausing quite a lot. Not sure which way to go.
I think what he, maybe just second guessing. He might have even thought about leaving that red he just took as his last ball to leave the black in the middle.
That was ideally what you want to do, but
Yeah.
he couldn't. He really couldn't get back there. So now it looks like he's leaving the one down the rail to last to screw up. So he needs to land straight on the last red. That's perfect.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's perfect. Just screw by the middle pocket there. It's just it'd be interesting to see how he gets into this. Maybe over it or under it.
Yeah, he's played that well.
Yeah.
So he's done all he can do. He's taken advantage of Shaun's dry break. And if you can break Disher next, 9-4, slightly different complexion. Just needs to start mounting the pressure onto Shaun's shoulders because Shaun's had an easy ride so far. Looking across, seeing that Stevie Dempsey was unable to take advantage of his big break. Max Moscow came to the table, cleared up, and now he's 9 frames to 5 ahead. Max is a really, really good player in these events. He won one of the amateur events that were played up at Savannah. And of course, a prolific money match player as well. Well, the cue ball had 2 or 3 attempts at going into the corner bag. Our producer's just losing the plot to my right-hand side.
That's an understatement.
He's, what do they call it? Corpsing in acting, don't they? When you just can't stop himself from laughing. It'll be something childish as well, for sure. That's a lovely shot.
Can he pop the red past the other? Yeah, he can see. He's trying to pop the red past the other one and just stun onto the other red by the yellow. Not sure he can. Can he get past the yellow and stun onto it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Oh. Well,
I think the yellow was in the way. I think if he hit it too hard, he'd have cannon the yellow. So maybe he's probably better off stunning into the yellow and getting the yellow to move the red.
Delicate little shot into the middle here. But if he can make it...
Is that a result way to land?
Yeah.
I think he needs to move that rack now, though, because he's going to roll. He could be rolling the red here.
Yeah.
Then by the black and going through the triangle.
I would have certainly been asking the ref to move it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So either way, he's going over it.
I personally, you have that kind of natural break after you break, where you're assessing the table and working out your pattern.
I think you move it then.
And you can
move it straight away.
And the other trick there, of course, is the clock's not running either, so it gives you that extra few seconds.
Yeah, because usually the first shot you play after the break is the one you think about most, as you say, because you decide in the colours. But getting moved then.
Yeah, and doing it now, of course, breaks your concentration. So
exactly.
I'd be asking the ref to move that immediately.
Yeah, every time I break, if I pop one, that's getting moved first shot.
Yep.
I can't, even if it's not in the way, I can't. You might as well make it a habit of moving it straight away.
So life's just, as we've seen before, not easy for Karl.
He's got down on this very quick. He got down really quick there to pop that.
Very much in control of the frame there. But Shaun's going to...
Be interested to see if Shaun goes defensive. He never, very, very, very rarely does, but where those balls on, he should do, but I don't think he will.
I don't think it's in his vocabulary, is it?
No. So these be interesting with the last tournament with the rules. You know, it changes the game totally. The tactics of it. You know, the last event, the Chinese rules, literally what he'd have done is potted the yellow, then just play the yellow onto the red, snooker him and leave the white there.
Yeah.
There's going to be loads of tactics involved in that last event.
It's going to be incredible to watch. Incredible.
No, they know what to do. Some players will be totally lost, but some will really enjoy it. So he's left his best balls to the last look by the red.
So I'm not too proficient on the rules in the final event myself. I have had a quick read through, but basically they've been devised by a group of people. It's not just one person. There's Gareth Potts has had a hand in it, so there's a Chinese influence. I know that Viv Roscoe, she's Blackpool referee. She's had an influence. What a great shot!
Can't believe he's gone this way. He's not that.
And lots of other influences. And there's a little bit of black ball, and there's a little bit of world rules, and there's a bit of Chinese in there as well. So there's no longer any totals or any foul snookers. It's very much more an attacking game. There's no two shots. So if you play a deliberate foul, the shot that Rob was mentioning a minute ago, where you would just pot your opponent's ball and leave him snookered, there's no ball in hand, so he has to play it from where he is, even if he's snookered. And he's only got one shot, so it's going to be incredible. So attacking. You can't play defensively. There's no defensive options. No. So it's going to be so exciting. Just.
Instead of clown walking, look over there, look. See?
Who's that? Okay. Oh, there we are. He's just in front.
Odd Lala.
Mr. Chris Melling has entered the arena. Fresh from his travels, he's recently back from a trip to the USA where he's been playing in the. I think he was playing in Darren Appleton's Pulse, his World Series, yeah. And then shortly before that, he was over in China, playing in the. I think he was playing in the World Championships, wasn't he? Was he playing in the Joy? I'm not sure. He was certainly in China anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't the Joy. It was the other one. Yeah,
Yeah.
The Star Billiards.
Yeah. So good to see Chris. We'll see him in action. I believe he might be up next. I wouldn't swear to it, but I think
Yes, he
he's
is,
up.
yeah.
I think he's up next on the arena table,
With Seb, isn't he? Yeah.
and he's playing against Seb Webb. And then our last, well, not our last stream game, but our last streamed game of the first round is going to be. Who is it, Ron?
It's me against the real number one. What's
Is you
he
against the
called?
real number one?
Real number one. That's him. That's the boy over there.
It's fantastic.
He's a character.
He is a character. Love him or hate him, he's definitely Marmite. I love him personally. I
And
mean,
I do. I don't mind.
there's
People take people too serious.
exactly. Yeah,
He's played a good shot to get out of trouble there.
great. Everything he does is for effect, and it obviously winds some people up, and others love it. I think he's great for the game. He's a great character. He's larger than life. He did that well. He played it really delicately, just to need to get past that yellow. Played it perfectly well. And this is
Yeah, he made
another
sure
nice clearance.
Made sure he's past the yellow there.
Very nice from Karl. Just doing what he can do at the moment. He's got the break again. I mean, this is the chances he's had. This could be so much closer. Craig Waddingham's pulled back another frame, and it's tied together with Neil Raybone at 8 frames each. Gaz Royds currently beating Scott Muscat 5 frames to 3. Cy Fitzsimmons against Darren McVicker. Surely that can't still be locked up, can it? 6 frames each. They've gone 4-all, they've gone 5-all, they've gone 6-all. And Max Nosko 9-6 against Stevie Dempsey. Chris Day 10-8 against Ryan Pisani. Liam White's through. Liam White's beaten Jay Dewar 11 frames to 6, so Lee Kendall's horse is through on the winner's side. Well, it wasn't just Lee Kendall, it was a bit of a syndicate.
Yeah,
but,
there's a few syndicates going
yeah,
on.
yeah, makes sense. Gives you an interest, doesn't it?
Just when you've got half yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
If
Especially when you win half yourself.
I forgot about me. Yeah, I won half, didn't I? Forgot about that.
So people bought. I don't know if I know there's some guys out there that may not have seen the Calcutta or understand what it's about. You must have been in a darkened room for quite some time, because basically the Calcutta is it works in a similar way to the horse racing tote pool. So all of the players are auctioned off, all 128 players. Some are put into groups, and many are sold individually. And they're auctioned to members of the public. And the public buy their horse or their player, and the money generated creates a pool. And in this case, it created a pool of roughly around about £70,000. And that money is split. So the winner, the person who owns the winner, gets 35% of the pot. So there's about 20, I don't know what it is exactly. It's around about 25,000.
I think it's 21-ish.
21, is it?
Yeah,
I mean,
about
it's
that.
so yeah, for players like the most expensive player was Tom Cousins at 5,250. The second most expensive was £4,000 for Phil Harrison. And there were players that went through for as little as a couple £100. Some of the groups had 4 or 5 players in, and they went for just a couple hundred. So there's also a prize. So you get 35% for winning, 20% for second, 10% for semi-final, 5% for quarter-final, and 5% for the best non-elite player. So that would have been the group players. So there's even value in the groups. So if you buy a group, you've got a half decent chance at a score. And I think 5% was still working at around about 3,000. So that's the way the Kolkata works. I think it's going to get bigger and bigger as the events go on. I'm pretty sure, because there was a couple of players who slipped through the net, wasn't there? There's a couple, Gareth Hibbert and Clint Aronson went for peanuts. The first night,
I think, because a lot of people weren't sure what the crack was of it.
Yeah.
And after a couple of nights,
people got caught napping, didn't they? And then after a couple of nights, it all started to heat up, and the big money was coming in. So, the second event, I think, could go close to 100,000. Now, during the black ball events, I think it's going to go really high for the simple fact that all the World Rules players, like Tom Cousins, Phil Harrison, the rule set just doesn't matter, does it? I mean,
I don't think it matters that much anyway.
No.
With the way these tables were playing with that break, how many frames have we seen here with the rules come into play?
None,
really.
Really, yeah. There was one that went slightly tactical, but
you will have, but you're talking probably 10%. So it's probably one frame in 10 comes down to the tactics.
Yeah.
Who would you have in the event then, Nick? That's not in. Who do you think? Oh, I wish he was in there.
Jason Twist. I'd like to see Twisty in it, and I'd like to see Ben Flack.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Ben Flack.
Obviously, there's an obvious couple. I mean, Gareth Potts being one for sure. He was in, and then, as he mentioned earlier, his Chinese commitments meant he couldn't play 3 of the events. Obviously, one of the dreams for a lot of people would be to see Selby.
Yeah.
Or even Quinton Hand, but I think he's probably busy in Australia or somewhere. But Selby would have. I mean,
Rob McKenna's mate.
He's got bigger fish to fry. But Rob McKenna. Yeah.
I wish Rob. Yeah, I like Robin. I saw him playing, and he posted a couple of videos. I thought, I wonder if he's interested in playing in this when there was a few spots came available, but he didn't.
Maybe Ross McInnes.
There's a few, but
yeah. A couple little cracks starting to show. I mean, Shaun's got this safety net of 5 frames, but he needs to be careful. So I think, I might be mistaken, but I think it's open table. I just missed the action slightly. I think he potted a red and nominated yellows, didn't he?
Shot.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Nice little flick.
He's looking at stopping the white there so he can take the one down the rail.
I think he can get on it better, can't he? He's just screw back off the one in the middle, maybe. Is he going to take it now?
I think he's going to cross a bit too far. I think that was his intention at first. But
I think he just needs to screw back just a few inches past where he is now, doesn't he? Well, he's decided to get right up on it. It's a good shot.
Interesting with the black. Is that black that close to the pocket or not?
Yeah, I think he's okay. He'll be okay on the black. I mean, it was similar to the shot we saw earlier on the left-hand side of the table.
Don't want to flick it.
No. Nice use of side. You saw the side kicking off the rail. With this spotted ball, you can just see the way the white ball reacts. Cue ball had virtually died, and then it hits that side rail and accelerates away.
Played for the double.
Wow, that's a little bit of a surprise to me.
It must be close to the cushion. Then
Must be closer, yeah. He's got it. He's got it, and he pulls back within 4. So
10-6.
Yep, Shaun will still be happy, he'll still be comfortable, but it's Karl's break. So if he can break dish, 10-7. Pressure just starts to mount. Jamie Graham, as we mentioned, the 1-10 favourite to beat Michael Still, is 9 frames to 3 behind. That, well, I guess that's not particularly broken anyone's. Somebody might have said, "I'll put him in as a banker just to get a double." You know, being 1-10, you think it would be a banker, wouldn't you? But It might break a couple of people's accumulator, but hopefully you're all on winners today. Be good to see the bookie taken for a ride. Jed's a nice fellow, but
Let's have his money.
yeah. So the mistake that was made earlier over the Jason Morris / Karl Morris is paid off, because Jason Morris has won 11 frames to 7. So Dan Davey can thank me later on, even though Ben Rowland. Where is Ben Rowland? What are you doing, Ben? Oh, he's 1 frame behind now against Omar Manchid, so.
Karl can squeeze past there without red and screw the yellow away. He's got a finish again.
John McAllister and Dom Cooney have been close all the way through. John McAllister's just taking the advantage. He's 10 frames to 9 ahead.
Yeah, he screwed it away.
Playing with so much more confidence now. This is the Karl Donoghue we know, the kind of player that we expect to see, playing with much more freedom. So much more confident, but he left it too late. Suddenly seems to have got control of that cue board, doesn't he? So
This is the key shot. He needs to land virtually straight on this red.
yeah,
So then take the last red in the middle. As he overhit it.
he's overhit it, but
That pulled up a little bit. Seems
yeah,
to.
it did pull up. I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I think he can hold this.
No, I'm not too sure. I think he might have to stun into it.
But equally, that should be fine. It's a fairly natural. You know, you can just stun
Yeah.
up, just a full ball contact.
He doesn't have to hit it hard either. He can just nick it at like an inch or two. Oh, he's played that way. He's trying to flick off the yellow and leave it in the other
Yeah.
corner. There's no
Yeah.
need. He's trying to be too clever there.
And now, what's he looking at?
He's trying to straighten the double up, but I'm not sure he can. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he tried to straighten it up, square it up, but the yellow's in the way.
so with a little more pressure on him than there has been throughout the game so far, can he play with the same kind of freedom?
You can't go for that first shot.
No,
You can't
No.
play that.
no.
You just cannot play that shot first shot.
He's played that like a man who's 10-6 ahead, hasn't he? I mean, that's the
He's
thing.
played it like the red was on the cushion,
Yeah.
yeah. Over the middle pocket.
Yeah.
You just cannot play that shot. There's so many more different shots you could have played than that. I know he's a confident player, but
Yeah, but even so, it's
smash it in.
it's
Don't
made it
rub
too easy for Karl to pull back within 3. And now it's going to be Shaun's break. So another dry one here. Well, the pressure could firmly be on, couldn't it?
Yeah. You know, I know he's a confidence player, but there's confidence and there's been playing percentage. That was just like,
Still nothing between between Simon Fitzsimmons and Darren McVicker. 7 frames each. Darren was 4 frames to 1 each. And since then it's got 4-4, 5-5, 6-6, 7-7. Max Nosko is currently playing Stephen Dempsey. He's 9 frames to 6 up. Dempsey is at the table. But he's on a very, very difficult black. I beg your pardon, he wasn't on the black. You won't know what I'm talking about anyway, unless you're watching that. Unless you've got 2 screens up.
There you go, straighten off.
Straighten off.
Be 10-8 in about a minute.
10-8. Then a break dish for 10-9. Wow. Who would have thought that?
It's not easy though.
So Max Nosko's sunk a really good black. And now he's on the hill at 10 frames to 6. So of course, world rules, so only 1 shot. Which, given where these balls are,
Yeah, he's looking at the
it's a
edge. I
tough
think
ask, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. The problem is, if he pots this red near the corner now, he's leaving the game for Shaun as well. Yeah. I wouldn't be potting this red out of the pocket. Not in a million years.
So it's difficult to see.
I can see where he's going. He's playing the one in the corner, then the one in the middle, and he's going to run through to leave himself those 2, and he'll take it in the corner,
Yeah.
and maybe even flick the black. So I can see where he's going, but
Difficult finish.
yeah, he needs to land perfect on this one in the middle. And I think he needed to be a bit straighter on it. He may have to play a cannon now. They can hold it. Oh, the top one must go in the corner as well then. But ideally he'd want to be on the other one so he can just flick the black out and land on the other one, whereas now he can't get the black out now. He may have to nudge. He's still playing the bottom. He's playing the one I thought, but he's a lot thinner.
He's played it well. Played it really well.
But he hasn't got the control that he would have had if he was, if he was Chipperfield. I think he needs to take this. He's going to take the look. He's a good clean potter. He may take the one at the corner. Yep, he is, and screwing back off the side rail. Yeah.
Great.
So
Brilliant.
He likes queuing balls on. That's why I thought he'd take that one in rather than the one in the middle.
What a super finish.
Yeah.
This is such a different Karl Donoghue than we saw in the first 10 frames. Goodness me.
Yeah, 10-8.
10 frames to 8.
See that one frame where Shaun just gave it him. Come back to one.
Yeah. So again, Shaun just stepping away for a quick bathroom break, so we will be back with you very shortly with the action.
Karl to break, trailing 10 frames straight. Time running.
So, this another critical frame goes without saying. When your opponent's on the hill, every frame is huge.
Ball potty. Red ball's in play.
Fancy him to get these.
Well,
Because that red doesn't, I think he's got one tricky red, but if he leaves the one near the side rail to the last but one, he can run it through. Or did it go?
am I right in thinking that Karl was 9-2?
9-2. I think it was 9-2, yeah.
Well, who would have thought? We did say that we can't see any way back for him, but who knows? You just can't take anything for granted.
He must go, you know, that red must go in the corner.
Ooh.
Does it go? It must
I think
go.
it does,
The
yeah.
way he's going for
Yep,
the finish,
yep.
it must do.
Yeah.
That is perfect if it does go. It does.
Absolutely. Easily.
Block's moving that cue ball around.
Well, as I say, who would have called this 10 frames to 9? No, Rayburn, Craig Wadham have been 8-all for quite some time, so that must be
Yeah, I can see that.
a real grind. Gazroids, 5-4 up against Scott Muscat. Max Noss goes through. He's beaten Stevie Dempsey 11 frames to 6. That's a really good result for Max.
Yeah, it is.
Chris Day leading Ryan Pisani 10 frames to 9. Liam White, we already know, is through against Jay Dewar. Dean Richardson was 7 frames to 6 down. He's now won 3 in a row, and he's 9-7 up. Liam Dunstan 9-4 against Andrew McKee. Rob Warren 10-8 against Ryan Clark. Ben Rowland and Omar Manchud tied up at 9 frames all. Dan Davey, who was in commentary before, will be watching that one eagerly.
Leading 10 frames to 9. Time running.
Jamie Graham making a bit of a comeback against Michael Still. He was 9 frames to 3 down, is now 9-5.
He's gone enough. Oh dear.
Wow. That's a couple of frames he's gone in off. And how the game comes back to haunt you.
That one frame?
Yeah.
With that red on?
Yeah.
You should have won the match. So, you know. Everyone makes mistakes, but that was, you know.
But it's really come back to bite him.
Yeah.
It's a cruel god, the poker god. It really is. And that's a couple of times recently he's gone in off. Giving Karl another fantastic chance in the way he's playing now. He just, well, I think, oh, there's a touch he didn't want.
He was the shot before was the terrible shot to leave himself,
Yeah.
you know, queuing over the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
He had ball in hand to leave himself there. It was terrible. This is what he was doing at the start.
Yes. Needed to be careful of that black. It was always going to track towards the middle. But he's back in pretty decent shape. So, well, who's to say that Shaun's going to get another shot in this
Well, he
match?
needs to stun onto the yellow here. I wouldn't roll it through, so be careful if you run it through too far. You know,
Needs to cue this well.
yeah, because the yellow could be in the way.
The yellow's in the path.
Whereas
Yeah.
if you're stunned into it, it's gone.
Yeah.
But he should be able to screw in between the gap anyway. But
Ooh.
he's
Left this
potentially
thin.
there.
Left this thin. Well, there we are. And as I say, who's to say that Shaun Chipperfield,
Can't believe
who
this
was
is 10.
9, Karl Donoghue, really struggling. Struggling with his form, struggling with the cue ball, struggling to find his rhythm. Shaun just looked sublime. And here we are, hill, 10 frames all. And it's Karl's break.
Can't believe it's 10.
It's advantage to Karl. Well, another fabulous game. So 2 matches we've seen on the stream table so far. Both have gone hill. Can we ask for any better pool, any more excitement at the start of this event? And this is still the first round. We've got an entire weekend of this. I'm going to be exhausted. People talk about rules and whether world rules or black ball, or I mean, we've now seen 41 frames of pool, and I don't think a single one has gone tactical. Maybe one just slightly, and we've seen one DF played by Darren Appleton in the first match. At this level, the rules are just irrelevant, especially when the tables are breaking like they are. So now Karl's turn to step away for a bathroom break, maybe just to compose himself. It's certainly
Done a great job of the arena, haven't they?
oh, it's incredible.
Looks great.
It just looks stunning.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Final frame, Karl to break, 10 frame ball.
So Karl, who I think has broken Dish's last 2, pretty sure he has, looking for another big break. Big shot.
He took more care over that.
Wow.
0.2 yellows.
There's a couple of issues.
I think he'll be happy there.
There's a bit of a problem with either set, isn't there? There's this yellow and red.
He'll be going reds now.
Yeah. This yellow and red is just tied together on the right-hand side of the table.
He can move the one straight away if he chooses to. There you go. And he may leave an angle on the other red by the brown spot to cannon the other yellow away on red.
Shaun just sits in his chair.
Oh, the red must go in the corner. He's missed that, has he?
No.
This is the key shot now. He's cannoning. Looks like he's playing. I'll be playing the one near the side row, but he's playing the other one.
Yeah.
So he could stick behind the yellow here.
I agree. It's a good target from there because
if he plays the other red near the side cushion, he cannons the red or the yellow. He can't foul to do anything.
Yep.
Whereas going behind it, he can. He may work out, but it'll be my choice of shot. See, nearly. he was guaranteed more options the other way.
Going the other way, yeah. As you say, any kind of decent contact on the yellow would have broken the mat, and he couldn't have failed to be on something. He's on this red. It's still... Oh, there's a brush he didn't want, that's for sure.
See, I thought he'd maybe stunned into that to knock it towards the other pocket and then play it next.
Now this is really tough.
This will be some out now.
Oh, dear me. He's got this...
Yeah, he's going for the double.
No, he's missed that by a country.
To be fair, I think to get the finish, he probably had to go for the double because he couldn't get from the one ball to the other ball.
Yeah. What a chance now for Shaun. But this is a pressure that he won't. Yeah. This is a pressure that he won't have felt all the way throughout this match. Now, this is the first time in the match when he's been at the table at real risk.
So you'd ideally want to take the one near the rail last, but he will have to take it last but one now, unless he takes this one now, down the bottom. If he's confident. Yeah, he is taking it. He's showing his confidence still.
That's a great
Fair
pot.
play. Yeah, because he wants the one near the cushion last, so he may take it now. His options.
So screwing straight back.
He's not average, does it?
I think it's fine. Played that really well. There was a lot of risk. Trust in his knowledge of the pace of the table. And what a brave clearance this is from Shaun Chipperfield. And what a fantastic match.
Great game, to be fair.
Another great 21 frames of pool.
Yeah.
Hats off to Shaun Chipperfield, and very unlucky to Karl Donoghue, who drops over into the loser's side. Just in a couple of moments, they're going to head into the studio. They're going to take the winner in. So listen out for an interview with Shaun Chipperfield. Lee Kendall's just on his way in there now, so stick around for that. But for now, thank you very much, Rob. Thanks for your time. It's been, as always, great commentating with you. Good luck in your match later against the real number one. We'll see Rob back in action very shortly. Cheers, Rob.
Thanks, mate.
So from us, we're going to take another short break. Across the studio now, we'll be back with the action on this table as soon as the next round starts.
Well done, Shaun. That was a close match. Deciding frame. 10-3 up. Fearing the worst, I would have thought.
I was, yeah, definitely. He was breaking so well towards the end, and well, he never missed a pot. And I can't remember the last frame, to be honest. I remember the last ball and the last black, that was it. But I was just sitting there thinking, please, dry break. He threatened to go in off in that corner like 6 times. He never went in off, and I was just, hoping. But
Rob was commentating on us.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was a good match to commentate on, really quick flowing. But I think it looked like Shaun got used to the speed of the cloth before Karl. And I think then Karl started to get used to this. I think he was losing position a lot where you weren't. You just got used to the cloth straight away. But I think definitely 9-3, that was nearly a turning point there with the last red. But it was a good match, really good match to watch.
So you're speaking about the cloth, was it because it was fast or...?
it was a lovely cloth, yeah. It was very fast. The cushion's a soft bounce, obviously, with a new cloth, but it was very nice. But, I mean, the lag, I reached the middle pockets, that was it. I know I hit it bad, but, yeah, it was just, like Rob said, Karl just didn't get the cloth straight away. I did get the cloth quite early, as you say, but he soon got into it, and he was just flowing towards the end. I just can't believe I've won, to be honest. from 10-3 up.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real tough match. I mean, the cloth that you're alluding to there is a Strachan number 10 cloth, which
Yeah.
they use in the World Championship snooker. So there isn't a better
They
cloth
don't use
out
that in the
there.
pool world championships, do they?
No,
No, I've never.
You get a heavy, but I think you get the lower grade. I wanted the best for the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, to recover a snooker table in that cloth, just for the cloth alone, is £550. And then you've got to get it fitted, so you're talking the best part of £700. And for a pool table, I'd say about £200. I mean, I dealt with Strachan, and as you all know, I've been fighting to get us the best cloth to play on, in the best conditions, and they had a few problems with the factory. The boiler broke and couldn't get me the grey cloth I wanted.
Yeah.
But then they offered me the number 10 green. I said, yeah, I want the best for the players, and I'm glad that you're all liking it.
Yeah,
It
it's
looked
lovely.
great. Yeah, it did look great. I'll just say, I think Shaun Karl you could tell he was running out of position quite a bit. Shaun just got used to it straight away.
He never missed a ball. He left a
end,
load of balls down the rail, which he just slammed in. And I just thought, in that last frame, I thought once the balls were open, I thought he's not going to miss. But I think he just lost it towards the last 3 balls.
Yeah, I think he wasn't his potting. I think he just purely used cue ball. I think if he had an hard pot, he'd have knocked it in.
Yeah.
I think that was. But the last frame, I think he had to go for the double because I don't think he could finish the. I don't think he could get out.
Did that red go
otherwise.
anywhere? The one he played?
I thought
Yeah,
he
it did
might
go
be
in
able
the
to
corner.
cut it in the middle.
That's what I thought from where I was sitting.
Cut
Did
it
it go
back.
in the back corner?
I was at the wrong side of the angle, but I think he could
Yeah.
have cut, instead of playing the double because it's going to slide, I thought
Yeah.
if he popped it in the middle and the white hits into the yellow, then he's going to be on one of the two
One of the
reds.
two, yeah. But still a tricky clearance from
And the double was tight because the black was in the way as well.
Yeah.
But I knew it was going to slide, so I
But
thought,
from my first shot, I just over screwed it again because I had no table time for must be half an hour.
Yeah.
Them 7 frames in a row. So I've got into the white too much and left the white on the tight cushion. I knew I was carrying his red 4 ball, which I wanted to go the top balls first before I went the bottom balls, and I just knew I won't go for the right angle on that other ball at the top because I was going to go into the red. So
it's amazing how
I know.
you play a match and you sort of overthink.
Mm.
And if you're playing a practice game, you wouldn't even think about those things. But because you were so far ahead and he's come back at you, all of a sudden your mind's thinking, what the bloody hell's going on here?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But,
Really good to watch.
Congratulations, mate. You're
Thank
through
you.
to the next round and good luck.
Nice one.
All
Cheers.
right. Well,
on,
cheers, Rob.
on with the next stream in about 10 minutes, folks. We'll get the next one on. I think it's Chris Mallin against Seb Webb as the next one. So please tune in. Well done, mate.